So we sat here yesterday talking about the breaking story out of Kansas City.
Big deal.
And everything has changed in 24 hours.
Yeah, well, we certainly, and, we even said this, and I think it's a fair thing. Anytime there is a huge event like this, the story evolves and changes over time. I don't think we got anything fundamentally wrong.
No.
I do think we now have some clarity on maybe a little bit more what happened. People who might have been concerned that this was some sort of act of terror or maybe politically motivated in some way, shape, or form are going to be disappointed because it appears, according to the Kansas City Police Department and FBI is investigating this as well, that yesterday's shooting at the Super Bowl championship parade was two juveniles in a dispute who pulled out guns and began shooting at one another. By the way, not hitting each other. Neither one of them were shot.
No.
But 23 other people were shot.
Yeah.
By the way, that sounds a little crazy just to say out loud.
Well, we brought up the possibility, I guess, that it could be, there are two people who wanted to shoot up a crowd. There are two people who, I don't know, got in some dispute and started shooting. There was a lot of different, possibilities.
Sure.
This one, I'm not buying.
What do you mean you're not buying it?
I'm not saying that they're lying to us or anything like that. It doesn't pass the test for me. It doesn't all add up.
Which part, Gaydos?
The whole that two kids, happened there are a million people around, and two kids with guns saw each other, and then they want to shoot. So I'm not buying that this happened organically. I really don't. There were a lot of weapons that were found and recovered, and the amount of people that were hit. I mean, these two guys got in a spat, and then they shoot dozens of bullets at each other, and not one hits each other. But it does hit all
everybody
these
else,
other kids,
including 9 children.
Yeah, it doesn't add up. I don't know. I even thought this last night.
I'm ready.
Is this good news? Because it's never good news when somebody dies. We've got a woman who was killed, and we've got kids who are in the hospital with bullet wounds. But I think is it better that they were two juvenile dopes with guns shooting at each other?
That it wasn't some act of terrorism or political violence or something.
Two guys in their basement who hate life and wanted to go and shoot the place up. But that's where I go now. Every time there's a shooting, that's exactly where I go. I go right to you're evil. You planned this.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, maybe that's it, that I'm just kind of set in my ways about these type of shootings. But I mean, if that's what they're saying, I guess, but two juveniles in custody that started shooting at each other,
yeah,
it doesn't add up for me. It doesn't add up.
Yesterday, we had the report that there was a third person in custody, an adult. That person has been released. Police said they were not involved in the shooting, so the only two in custody right now, and again, the investigation's still ongoing, the only two in custody are juveniles.
Right.
So we don't know their exact name or age.
Yeah. So are they in gangs?
Potentially. I don't know.
Are they just, are they both 16 years old and they took mommy and daddy's gun? And how did they get in this shootout? Do they know each other? I don't know, man. I guess it's just easier for me to believe that there is evil in the world, and then that these two were trying to plot something and really ruin a spectacular day where you've got a championship team and 1 million people out to see them, and you have people on this earth that want to ruin it. So I don't know. Let me say one other thing.
No, go ahead.
You remember when we were watching the Kansas City police chief
the press conference? Yeah.
Before we went on the air, it was, I don't know. It was almost like she was just like. It was almost like she was saying, I don't want this to be one of those shootings. We hope it's like something different. We hope it's not two people that wanted to come, or 2-3 people that wanted to come out and have some sort of a terror attack or something like that. And it was almost like she was rooting for that in the press conference yesterday. And then 24 hours later, that's what's happening here. I'm not saying she's a liar, or they're smarter than me. They do amazing. Police do amazing work. I guess this is the case, but it doesn't add up that two juveniles just decided or bumped into each other, and then they decided to shoot each other. And then they don't even hit each other. How do you miss? Like, these are dozens of bullets that are sprayed around, and they didn't even get a hit. They didn't even get a bullet hit. I just don't get it.
I get your skepticism.
Yeah.
And I understand why you think that way.
Does it add up for you?
I do think it's entirely plausible
You do.
that you have two teens involved in criminal activity in some way, shape, or form in the Kansas City area
Million people.
who
They
either
bump into each other.
potentially and
It sounds far-fetched, man.
but when we see things like gang violence, that's how it starts.
Okay.
It starts with you're on my turf, or hey,
not
I
a
know that
million
guy, or you're
people
wearing
around
the
them.
wrong thing. I'm not
Hey,
arguing.
they're not a million. I mean, do you even think
How do they not even graze one another?
I don't know. That's why I
but
said.
shoot 23 others now.
And,
I
they're all,
believe they said.
and half of them are kids. Half
Were
of the
they-
victims are kids.
Were they running as they were shooting?
I don't know.
Oh,
maybe-
Okay.
I'm
Well,
just
they're a
thinking if they were. Well, yeah, they probably are a bad shot.
They're a bad shot, Becky Lynn.
Yeah, absolutely. So if they were running, there's the possibility they could have missed each other completely and shot random people.
It's just,
Yeah.
it seems, you say it's plausible. I say it's far-fetched.
Okay.
I think if we were here yesterday and we were going to guess, this was probably last on my list, that two juveniles would end up in custody. They had, how did they get the guns? They're not old enough. They're not old enough.
Will their parents
obviously.
be? Well, I don't know in Missouri. I don't know what the law is in Missouri.
Well, if they're juveniles, I'm guessing they're not able to have a gun. And
Unless
you're right.
somebody, we had the one in Michigan where the parents gave the gun to the 15-year-old,
Yeah.
and he was legally in possession of a gun.
Yeah. You're right. The laws
I
are
don't
different.
know. I'm just saying. But I mean, the idea. Listen, if you are in a world where you can get into a gun battle with another teen at something like this, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you didn't get the guns legally. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they probably didn't get these down at the gun store.
Yeah. And then I think the other thing you have to do is, all right, we'll find out where they got the guns. Did they get them from, a safe that was unlocked and their parents? That doesn't sound like it either. That doesn't, the whole thing I'm sick. I'm sick over the fact that someone lost their life at a party like that. That's the thing. And then that kids are sitting in a bed or laying in a bed. All they wanted to do was go and see their favorite team and their favorite players, and bullets are shot because of two people that you couldn't settle it with your fists, you cowards, right? I mean, you have a problem with somebody, you got to pull out a gun and shoot somebody.
Of the children that were shot, 3 remain hospitalized, according to them. So, yeah, that and we're not sure in what condition. Although they said they are expected to survive, I don't know specifically their injuries. Pardon me. 2 of the adults are still in critical but stable condition.
We're never going to see a parade again. There's no way. There's no way. All right, let's put it out there. You're the Arizona Diamondbacks, and you are just coming off an incredible season. They're starting, to play in the Cactus League, and they are the defending National League champions. It looks like they made their roster better this year, right? They lost in the World Series. Let's say they go back and win the whole thing. You can have a parade here? I think that's question number 1. Question number 2, are you going to go to the parade? See, I don't know.
Isn't this the argument? And I think you're on this side. If you don't go, quote unquote, the terrorists win. The bad guys win.
I'm going.
If you don't go, right?
I'm going.
Don't let it change your habits.
I'll give you an example. Remember the movie, the movie shooter? It was in
up
Aurora?
in Aurora, Colorado, and
Okay.
it was the Batman movie because he
Right.
dressed as the Joker, right?
Right. It's interesting. I had the day off the day after that happened.
Okay.
And my wife and I decided we were going to go to see the Batman movie with the kids. And and so in the morning we asked each other, I said, oh gosh, they said they had the shooting last night and it's so awful. Do you even want to go to the movies? And I remember what my wife said. She goes, we're absolutely going.
Yeah.
We're absolutely going. We're going to go live our life.
Yeah.
We're going to go live our life. And we went to see the movie. So I just asked that. If the Diamondbacks go to the World Series and win, would we hold a parade here? I don't know if parades are a thing anymore. I really don't. I
hope not. I hope it doesn't lead to that. But
Can't lock it down.
No, it's impossible.
They had 1,000 cops out there yesterday, and 2 hooligans started shooting at each other.
And this is
Right?
and this is what happens because of it.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.